Okay, so hi, OP friends. Today I'm feeling a little bit jittery and spacey, and it's because when I woke up this morning, I was very congested and tired, and so I drank a lot of tea in order to get my energy levels up, and now I just feel very jittery. So did you need to know that? Nope, but you do now. If you guys are joining me for the first time, I come from the Myers-Briggs world where I am trained and certified, and in that world, I am an INFP. I have recently been branching out into learning OP or objective personality type to see where I fall within the 512 personality types. And so far, my unofficial type is MF, SIFI, sleep, consume, blast, play, which would make me an ISTJ jumper. Weird. My latest assessment so far is MF, FESE, or TESE, which again, super, super weird because it implies that my savior state is all about the tribe, and I don't like that, but I don't have to like that. This is the process of OP, and I'm just going to keep an open mind to it. As someone who is very aware of my energy levels, I think I do chase that dopamine high all day, whether in the form of snacking on stuff or having some type of caffeine or energy drink. I'm always trying to manage my energy levels, and so whenever I get a ping on my watch or my phone that someone subscribed or commented, it does give me that hit of dopamine. And so thank you to everyone who gives me those constant hits of dopamine during the day. It really lifts my mood and makes me happy. Okay. I wanted to talk about my play energy. Everyone is saying that there is absolutely no way that I am sleep, consume first, and that play must definitely be higher in my stack. And I wanted to talk about that. I am very introverted and shy if you meet me just in real life, but I just have a lot of energy when I talk here because I love personality typing and I know myself very well, so I can talk confidently about myself. I always thought that that was why I came across as very high play energy in these videos. But so many of you are saying that compared to most people who are actual mopes, I speak a lot faster and my mind just runs a lot faster. So I am keeping an open mind to that. I am very, very introverted and shy in real life. I think I don't mind the spotlight when I have control over it. For example, this, I'm just talking to my computer right now, and I have my whole setup, and I feel good about that control. But if, for example, there's like a large group setting and someone out of the blue points to me and says, Candace, what do you think? I would be like, what? Like, out of nowhere. And those are the situations where I don't like the spotlight. You know, if I'm going into a situation where I'm comfortable with the people and the situation, I have no problem taking the spotlight. And I think that is something that is a little bit contradictory. I'm very shy and I hate the spotlight, but I also do like the spotlight. So I don't know. Back in my Myers-Briggs days, every time I took the assessment, I would end up somewhere in the middle of the scale of, you know, being super, super extroverted to super, super introverted. I was always right in the middle, but just on the introvert side. I did kind of feel like I could play the ambivert part, but deep down inside, people exhaust me. I love my alone time. I love being by myself. I need so much alone time. I love my alone time. That's kind of the reason why my marriage to an INTJ works out so well, is that we both have our own alone time where we can just do our own things, but also be in each other's presence while doing our own things. So that's something I love about our partnership. So for other INFPs, you guys might agree that people are exhausting, right? Like people exhaust me when I have to spend an entire day with a group of strangers, for example, like field trips, class trips, even going on a trip with someone that you don't really know that well. Oh my God, that is one of the most exhausting experiences ever. And by the end of the trip, I am just like sick of everybody and just, I need my space. I need my space. It's like, please leave me alone. And not even specifically to that person. It's like, I just need to get away. I just need to get away. I need my alone time. But I think what it is because I'm uncomfortable, because they're just an acquaintance or someone I don't know that well, what exhausts me is maybe that I am playing a role that I don't want to play. And wearing that mask and playing that role for prolonged periods of time is what really exhausts me. But if I'm with the right people and the situation or the conversation or the topics are the right topics, then it's almost like that becomes a source of like a battery or a source of energy for me, where suddenly I become alive and afterwards I feel charged and happy and content and satisfied and better about myself. I did mention that I am someone who's always concerned about my energy levels, and I have noticed that I do tend to try to control this with substances. Like caffeine was a huge one for me. I started drinking coffee when I was in high school, and I would be that girl who came to homeroom with a giant mug of coffee every single day. I don't recall that any of my friends actually drank coffee. It was more of an adult drink. And if anything, people were drinking the occasional frappuccino or something like that. But I was like straight up all about coffee. Like I loved coffee because it gave me that energy that I needed. I am just not a morning person. It's like I am cranky, like don't bother me. Caffeine was really the first substance that I experimented with that helped me to play with and manage and tweak my energy levels throughout the day. Of course, you do have that crash, and then if you drink more coffee, you just feel more agitated and more tired and more restless, and it's not a good thing in the long run. By the time I was graduated from college and working on my own business, I was making myself, because no one else in the office drank coffee, and by no one else I mean just me and my husband, because it was just us in the office and he doesn't drink coffee. During that time, I would make myself like 2 to 3 pots of coffee every single day and drink them all by myself. Like I would guzzle them down. It was my source of energy, and because of that, it became like a security blanket. Like if I don't have my mug of coffee next to me, then I'm not going to be productive. So I might as well keep making the coffee and using it as a crutch in order to be productive, or so I perceived. This stems from a lot of my insecurity with not being able to manage my day to day, not being able to time manage, not being able to prioritize, not being able to just complete tasks. I was diagnosed with adult inattentive ADHD. And because of that, I was prescribed stimulants, but that became another issue where I started to abuse it in order to meet my deadlines. That was not a good time for me at all. I do have an addictive personality, and so I have to be careful about substances. And I am a lot more careful now. For example, I just got to a point where coffee did nothing for me but just make me so tired, so tired. I would drink some coffee and I would be so grouchy and have to take a nap. I have weaned myself off of coffee, and now I only drink tea. And because I only drink tea, I get a buzz from it now, which is pretty cool. Which is why when I drank my tea before recording this video, I suddenly feel all jittery. And then there's the opposite side where I'm also obsessed with or always battling this whole sleep thing. I've always been that person who I wanted that time for myself at night, and just time for myself where no one would bother me and no one would have expectations placed on me. And so I would stay up so late doing all of that, and then in the morning just not be able to wake up, and it was just that constant cycle. Sleep was another thing that I messed with, and I was also prescribed Ambien in the past, which is a sleeping aid, a sleeping medication, and I definitely became dependent on that. Trazodone, I don't like trazodone because it just gives me a headache. It does make me tired, but in the morning I feel super groggy and I just have a headache. And let's be real, it's not as good as Ambien. But I don't take any of those anymore. I try really hard to just go to sleep naturally. Well, kind of. Like I might occasionally partake in activities which give me the munchies, if you know what I'm talking about. And whenever I was depressed or in a bad state, I always turned to sleep as a way to escape. And it was just, I don't want to deal with this constant mental burden that I'm carrying of how much I hate myself and how depressed I am and how much everything sucks. And so if I could just slip away into sweet, sweet dreamland, then I could escape it. I didn't have to deal with it. And so sleep became an escape for me. That was way more on energy levels than I planned to talk about. I finally decided on a channel name. The reason I picked Candice Land, so I was debating between Candice Land or INFP Candice Land, but I just decided on Candice Land because, well, first of all, it sounds like Disneyland and there's Candyland, but don't call me Candy. No one in my life has ever called me Candy. And if there is anyone that calls me Candy, it's because they don't know me. With a name like Candice, people are going to call you Candy and want to nickname you Candy, but I just wasn't having any of that. It was like, my name is Candice, don't call me Candy. That's another distinction as to why it's called Candice Land, to really hammer that point home. Previously, I talked about maybe changing my name to like OP Girl so that I can be more active in the objective personality or the personality community. But the problem with OP Girl is that what if OP is not the end of my journey? And obviously, I still very much relate to the Myers-Briggs community. I am trained and certified, and that was my entire world for a while. OP girl, while it would have made sense from a branding standpoint, I don't think I wanted to confine myself to that in the future. And so by going with a name like Candice Land, it's really just me. And so that future proofs my channel to be able to branch out into any type of topic that I want to go into in the future. I'm just going to stick with Candice Land. I don't know yet if I love it, but so a lot of you are saying that you see high NE in me, and obviously I thought I was FINE, and so inside I really want to be high in FI and in NE, and that's how I saw myself for so long. And so it was a little bit of a heartbreak experience when the typers got back to me and they're telling me that, you know, both FI and NE are not high in my stack at all. That was a moment. It made me very sad. I'm just keeping an open mind. I'm keeping an open mind. This is all a journey. I'm just documenting it. I'm not saying that I'm right or he's right or they're right. I just want to document the journey going from Myers-Briggs into OP and see where it gets me and see all the little steps along the way where people are going to mistype me, where I am going to mistype myself. And in the end, when I finally do get typed by Dave and Shan, it'll just be a very interesting comparison to compare it to the entire journey along the way. I just wanted to bring you guys with me and share with you that experience. I'm clearly very much in the beginning of it, and I am still going through all of the content, all of the videos. I don't know everything about OP yet. At this point, I'm considering Benjamin's assessment of MF, FE, SE, or TESE. I don't like those because they're all very tribe related and sensory. With OP, it's like you basically get typed what you absolutely hate. And the friend that got me into OP, who you guys might know from Game Tree, his name is John Yuke. We have had hours long video chats and phone calls. And so I feel like he knows me pretty well outside of just these one-way blast videos. And he seems to type me FINE/SI, which would make me an INFP. And he also seems to think that I am blast play last, which is interesting because he knows me in a different way than these YouTube videos. And so there is a huge part of me that trusts him. I believe in OP, he is typed an ISTP. I do trust him. I do trust him. The fact that he thinks that I'm FINE, like I'm still holding that up in the running too. So we'll see what Benjamin and his team come back with. And from there, I will unpack that with you guys and then try to move forward on my journey to get typed by Dave and Shan eventually. And they're always booked up and busy. They do even say on their site that when they open up for appointments, the spots fill up in like a few minutes. Also, you have to have been a paying member of their classes for 60 days. I would have to basically sign up and wait the 60 days plus whatever the hold time is for reservations. So I don't think that I'm gonna get typed by them for a while. If you guys know them personally or have any connections, that would be cool. That would be cool. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. It's just the time and the barriers that are stopping me right now. Because I can't get an immediate appointment with them, I'm taking the initiative to go through all of the content and the materials first and getting different assessments and feedback from other people and other typers to see how all of this lines up in the end. And that's really like the great experiment of all this. I wanted to talk about INFPs and putting people on a pedestal. I have a problem with is I get very intimidated by people because I tend to put them on a pedestal. And this was a really big problem for me when I was younger and I would have a crush on someone. I would just put them up on this insane pedestal to the point where whenever they would come around, I would get so weird because in my mind, I was just thinking of them as this amazing, perfect human being that like I was not even worthy of being around them and talking to them, which is so irrational and dumb. I know that, but I just cannot help myself. I cannot help myself. I do that. If I had the role or the job of interviewing or talking to famous people, like it would be a nightmare for me because I think I would die every single time meeting these people. Like I get weird. I get really weird because I'm so excited and so nervous and like I want to puke, but I love them and I want to tell them that, but I don't know how. And it's a very weird experience for me to meet famous people. The most nervous I've ever been meeting meeting my favorite band. They're called Motion City Soundtrack, and I've met them several times when I've gone to their shows, you know, for like backstage meet and greet events and things like that. But every single time I was like so sick and so nervous, but so excited, but so anxious about it. Yeah. After meeting them or after meeting any famous people, I'm always like in a high, like, oh my God, I can't believe I met them kind of thing. And for other INFPs, are you guys also like that where you tend to like get so starstruck? Like it's so stupid. I know they're just people. I know they're just human beings, but I get so starstruck. And I don't know. I think when I finally do get to talk to Dave and Shan, I'm going to have to fight that. I'm going to have to fight that. It's so stupid because I want to do this for research and for OP. You know, the hours and hours and hours and hours of content that I've watched, just seeing their faces, just been building up this, I don't know, this thing in my head where they're on this pedestal getting higher and higher. And it's so stupid. It's so stupid. And this is another thing that interferes with my life and being able to just like be normal and be myself. Okay, and I was just thinking last night that it might be a cool experiment to have like a Zoom call with all 16 types, but then I quickly realized that wouldn't be so fun because it would just be kind of predictable what would happen. Like I know for me as an INFP, that experience would really intimidate me. And so I would be that person who is just totally listening. Obviously, I'm very engaged in a listening sense. I would totally be like, oh my God, like, so this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This person is talking. And I would be engaged in that part of it, but no part of me would want to actually step up and interject and interrupt and to facilitate conversation. Has that ever been done before where all 16 personality types are on one Zoom call or something like that? Because that could be interesting. I wonder if that's been done before. I have a whole bunch of other topics that I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to make this video long, so I will save them for tomorrow. Thank you for watching my ridiculous videos, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. But